Hello everyone, I wanted to show you how I draw animal poses. So first of all, I will be using my soft sketch brush. I also have that dark sketch one, but I like to go softer when I sketch, I don't know why. And yeah, let's start with the basic pose, the standing one. I usually draw dogs like looking, instead of looking to a side or just to the front, I like to do them like 3/4. I'm not sure if it's called this way in English, but yeah, just looking to a little bit to the side because you can still see the whole face. They look way cute, and yeah, I think the body position and everything look much better this way. So I don't usually use this kind of rectangles or squares or anything to just draw a cat, but because I've done it so many times that I don't need this anymore. But I want you to understand how I do it, and I think this way is easier. So for example, the standing one will be something like that. You have the face, the body, and it doesn't matter how big or small they are. So for example, if you want to draw a tiny dog, you can do it like something like this. It's super cute, like super big head and super tiny body. And or maybe a huge cat, you could do it like super big body, like chunky body and a tiny head. So yeah, but as you can see, even though the proportions are different, the necks, even though there's no a neck per se, but the neck are on the same part. So for this one, the legs will be just like something like that. You could do it, but if you want to know exactly how it works, you have to imagine some kind of 3D rectangle. You want to draw something like that. It's looking like 3/4 more or less, and we'll be having one leg hanging from here. From here, you need to keep the same, as you can see, the same direction. It should be parallel to that direction. So this is another leg, and this one will be another leg. As you can see, the leg on the back, depending on how you put it, and the belly, because this one here will be the belly, how big the belly is. Many times I don't even draw it because it's not visible. But for example, if you do super long legs, as expected will be visible on the back. So it really depends on how long the legs are and how big and chunky the animal is. But drawing just this, like on the same level, unless you are doing like a front view, it doesn't look right. So to have just a tiny bit of three-dimensional view, this leg should be a little more longer. This one like this. This one should be shorter than this one, and this one like this. So you have to have in mind this three-dimensional rectangle, more or less. And just with that tiny change, it looks way better. It looks, I don't know, it's just from a kid's drawing to something more with more thought on that. So even though these kind of animals I draw are super simple, some of the basics is nice to have them. So yeah, this one will be like this. And now let's do the same one, but maybe laying on the floor, which should have the same pose, as you will see. Let's keep the body like a regular size body. So using this same analogy, it should be something, if the body is still 3/4, it should be the legs. If it's laying down around something like here, same parallel lines, The one at the back, you can barely see it. I don't usually draw it, this one at the back, because you also will have a tail hanging from here, so it will block the view, even if the leg's way too longer. And sometimes on my drawings I just draw it because one leg looks weird, and even though it shouldn't be visible, I just like force the view. But don't know, depending on the drawing how big the tail is. So yeah. So in this one here we'll have this kind of like this and like that, and this one you can see maybe a point in here with the tail going up, so it should be something like that. As you can see, I don't imagine exactly the same thing, but this one should be a bit shorter, maybe longer in here, and as you can see it looks like an animal laying down. And it doesn't matter the animal because cats and dogs are almost the same in here. And which one we can do now? Maybe a sitting one. We have two poses having, okay, so now it's sitting, and we can do like a human sitting, or maybe like a more animal sitting pose. So the human one will be, if you have this in here, will be this one in here, okay? So it will hang from the sides, more or less like that. And the legs will go in here. So, because now we have this rectangle like this. I'm not used to draw this, so it looks weird for me to draw it this way, but yeah, it will hang from there, something like that. So this leg should look longer because it's at the front, this one, and we are following the same parallel lines, and it should look something like that. So let's make this way shorter. Don't worry if you have to redo the drawing many times, because I also do it, especially on digital. And on my sketchbook I usually undo, well, erase the whole thing many times, so it should be something like this. And as for the animal pose, similar, but since the paws are, instead of hanging here, are on the floor, okay, this one should be super weird because we have something like the same in here, but the arms are just, let me just do it this way, okay? Let's forget for us for a moment this kind of rectangle, because I think to do it faster this way will be less understandable than the one I'm going to show you, because I wouldn't use this method for this one. But let's get from here to the a cat pose, like sitting down. Instead of like this, usually since the arms are hanging up to the floor, they aren't hanging, they are on the floor, the back will curve. So we have a curved back because he's hunching to like something like that. So the arms are up to the floor, kind of the same level, depending on the view you have it, but we can have this three-dimensional, still this three-dimensional rectangle on here, so this one will be shorter. And about the legs, they mostly disappear. They have this kind of thing like this. So you can do it more bigger or maybe just something shorter, but more or less will be most of the animals like this. So let me redraw this. This will be the head, the curved back, this will be the back pose, and these ones, instead of just hanging the arms from the upper way, I will do some kind of belly, So this will be some kind of oval shape like this. And from this belly, now the legs will hang, so they don't hang from too high from the, like almost from the head. They will hang more downwards like this, and this looks more natural. This one looks weird. Let's redraw this one because I wouldn't even draw it like this. It's kind of hard for me to explain how I will draw it without drawing the current animal. I will do it at the last, so I can show you several animals. It will be maybe here the heads are way to the front. Let's just, these ones are looking way to the front. It should be more like this, like a human head on top of the body. It's way too hunched, so it will be more, yeah, that's how it will look. Sorry, it's, as I said, it's hard to do it without doing the animal, and we can draw it also. It will be weird, but we can draw it like playing with a ball, so you can see kind of the same thing. So this will be the head. The body will be attached from here. You can imagine some kind of box in here. And he's playing with a ball, like the ball is in here. So it will be something like that, and the tail will hang from here. So yeah, it will be something like this. Sometimes, as you can see, the limbs hang from the points of the box, sometimes from the middle. I don't really have a... It looks weird with rectangles. I don't really have, since I don't use boxes, it's hard to tell how to draw them, but sometimes there will be more from here. It really depends, in this case, which one was. Yeah, I guess they hang from the corner, all of them, because if that's the box, they hang from the corner. So yeah, here, yeah. Actually, the box should look like this. So they always hang from the corner. Yeah. And yeah, the animal will be something like that. The paws go up. Now we will draw a proper cat, but as you can see, it's more or less the same thing. You have the head attached always the same place. It's just the body what it moves, the legs also, but more or less is kind of the same thing. And now for you to really see what I have done, I want to draw the animals on top. So for example, let's start with the base pose. We have here a dog. As you can see, I don't follow the circle. All of this I will show it you when I explain each of the animals, why some of them have more rounded faces, other more squarish, but for now I just want you to see how I put the animal on top of this shape, this pattern that is always the same. So the legs will be something like that. And as you can see, we can do the same for a cat. Maybe the belly is more in here. So it ends more like this. Maybe the back paw, it's barely visible because he has a big belly. And as you can see, here will be more like a rounded shape. Here is more like a rectangle shape. It really depends on the animals. So in each of the tutorials, I will show you how to do like simple animals. But even though they are simple, they have enough things that differentiate them. So, for example, if we draw now a bear, it should look different from the dog, otherwise nobody will know it's a bear and a dog. So maybe he has huge body this time and tiny paws. And as you can see, I'm using the same rectangle shape in here. Maybe the back is a bit lower, not that squarish, but yeah, everything looks like this kind of rectangle, like this. So, which ones? Now, let's do, for example, as you can see, this one is standing. Let's do a tiny dog, so you can see the difference with the big one. He will have tiny paws. Something like that. But as you can see, it doesn't matter. Maybe when you draw it so small, what I meant, like the 3D rectangle shape, it doesn't matter at all, because since it's super tiny, the proportions and the way you are seeing it, it's almost ground level, all of the bows. But you can still, as you can see, this one here is higher because it's more on the back, so you can still do the same things. But yeah, if it's super tiny, it doesn't matter if everything is ground level. And now let's try this one. This one should be a cat, or could be a cat. So maybe he has super round body. The leg on the back, as I told you before, sometimes without the leg on the back looks weird, even though it shouldn't be visible. But you can do like something like this, like super tiny, and maybe this way looks better. Which one else? This one was the proper one. I'm doing them super quickly, so they look... I'm smashing the heads. Also, I'm a bit nervous, so have that in mind if they are not pretty. But you get the idea. So this one could look something like that. How about the dog now? Also from here, like this one. And a huge tail. So as you can see, the pose is pretty similar, but you can do different body shapes with the same one. And for the last one, well, let's do first this one, maybe a koala. So we can do something different here. I'm not used to draw koalas, but they are kind of like this. No, not like this, like this. He's a bit chunky, but whatever. It should be, I'm not happy with it because it doesn't really look like a koala. But one thing I want to explain now is that, as you can see, this arm in here, to be properly drawn, should be more like this. But that means that this arm also should be drawn more like this, but it doesn't look right for some reason because everything is too simple. So doing them like this to the front instead of drawing the whole line to the back, it doesn't really matter if it looks better, because the drawing is simple enough to just do this kind of things. And this doesn't look like a koala at all, but on the koala, if you ever want a koala tutorial, I will do it much better. The body proportions are not correct, but yeah, I know how to draw koalas, but not today. And yeah, this one should be a cut. As you can see, if the ball is around here, there will be this one in here should be blocked, and the paws or something like that. Maybe the ball is too big for my taste, but this one should be completely blocked out and will be something like that. Well, that's super quickly, but you get the idea. And yeah, that's pretty much all. There could be variations and different things. Maybe one from the back, and as you can see, the one almost looks from the back. So let's redo this to do it from the back so you get the idea. Since it's from the back, the legs, the square is something like this. So this would be one leg, and this one will be the one that it's hidden. So let's do it again. So as you can see, the leg hidden is the one at the back, which is this one this time, because this is from the back. It should look like this. And yeah, that's pretty much all. If you have any questions, anything else that you want me to do as a compare or something, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!